Hey guys, so lately a lot of people have been commenting on Rosie's Let's Make Some Wonton Soup and Vibe live stream because at the beginning she had that big crash out over her mental health situation. But in it, she talks about being disabled. And a lot of people are commenting and they're like, we're not sure. Is she? What's the truth? What's not the truth? And so I thought today we would do things a little bit differently. And we're going to bop around a little bit. I found a lot of this information originally when I was planning on doing that deep dive into Rosie. And since I don't necessarily feel comfortable posting that, since some of my original sources have now been removed, I figured we would put that information to good work another way. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over here. And there's two different spots that I want us to listen to out of this live stream. And we're going to do it this way. I am leaving my screen like this. That way, if Rosie has anything to say about this, she can see that it's all coming from her sources. I'm not manipulating anything. I'm not changing anything around. But I think this also helps so that if other people want to get deeper into the Rosie lore, it makes them easier. It makes it easier for them to go and find this content. Also, because I do not believe in gatekeeping, I'm not going to hold this information just for myself and make people go and search it out if they want to find it. So let's go ahead and we're going to get to our first timestamp over here and see what she has to say.
Shit all over him. And I'm so annoyed that I'm getting emotional right now. But like, if I was living in a house that had bugs, I would be freaking the fuck out. And I would be doing everything in my power to fix it. And I know it's just like one fucking comment. And I shouldn't let it bother me. But it's like, it's just so frustrating being disabled and people assuming I'm talking about my weight when I say that. When I'm not. And dealing with being a very depressed person and trying to get help and been fighting it for years and being treatment resistant and just being tormented for it. So I had already scheduled the live and I heavily considered canceling it just because of the state of mind I got into. My hope is that I can turn my mood around. But
She says treatment resistant, and I know I said this in the other one. I don't think it's treatment resistant. I think she is treatment non-compliant is what it comes down to. She doesn't want to put in the work that it takes to actually get treatment, because what that would mean for her future. But we're not here to focus on that part. I just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't want anyone to think that me sitting silently was me agreeing or acknowledging with what she says, because I do have my own opinions on it.
you know, I've not been reading chat at all. I'm so sorry. Damage from the hurricane. I mean, there's a few different things that I think I could be dealing with. I mean, based on my PTSD alone and my symptoms of my PTSD alone, PTSD is a disability. So, yeah. Thank you guys for sending hearts. That's very sweet. Yeah. Messy is different than dirty. Exactly. I'm a very messy person. I own that, but I'm not dirty.
Okay, so right there, she's already hinting at her being disabled. She's saying, disabled people, PTSD is a disability. This is one of the things that she claims. And I don't know. I feel as though Rosie completely lies to her audience. Um, they, there's a guy over in the locale verse, Boogie, who lied about having cancer, and people raked him over the coals for it. Um, and Amber said that she had a really big issue with him because, as we all know, Amber went through a cancer journey. Um, and so Amber has an issue with it, but Amber had no problem with Quirky, even though we're going to see that Rosie lies an awful lot about her diagnoses that she has.
And that's been bothering me recently because that's just something that a lot of people, I'm not used to people saying that, and it bothers me. So, yeah, like a small prison cell. I think it's very important that your house is clean even if things aren't perfectly organized, put away. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exterminator was the word I was looking for. Like, I don't know if they were making memes. They probably will. They probably have. They probably do. I don't know. So, it was just really bad timing. It was really bad timing. I think it would have rolled off my back completely had it not been like you're only human. I don't know anyone who wouldn't be affected by mean comments. Yeah. So, it was just annoying. And I'm sorry to hear that, August. Yeah, I think I have the opposite problem. I I like I have some things, but I tend to like purge if I feel like I have too much clutter. Yeah, after therapy, you feel very vulnerable and raw. Yeah. So, ugh, that was lame. Sorry for getting emotional, chat. Um, but that's just kind of like it just really bothered me because like that's a lot of loss, Star Mama. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I felt I was like after therapy initially I was like kind of like I feel a little like I don't know if sensitive is the right word, but I was like I feel okay, like I feel like I can go live, and then I scheduled the live, and I hate like scheduling a live and then canceling. I've only done it like once or twice, at least in recent history. I don't know about earlier on. Maybe I've done it more than that. I don't know. Don't quote me. My memory's ass. We all know this. But as far as I know, it's a very rare occurrence. I don't like to do it. Do you have bugs? No. Are they talking shit? Yes. End of story. Yeah, there you go. So,
Okay, I know there's a lot of filler here, but I really don't want anybody to be able to say that I have clipped this in any way to make it sound like something that it's not. Also, I think it's important to hear her talk about, well, I was thinking about canceling this live, but I decided not to because, I I just love you guys so much. I just don't want to disappoint you. I don't think that's the case. I think it is because of she's hoping to get, I hate to say sympathy vote, but that's the closest thing I can compare it to. Because this is one of the first lives in a while that I have seen her come on and start with a goal. Like from the start, she knew that she was going to approach this and be all down and sad. And she was like, hey, why not tell everybody I want to make money? On the ones that she's all peppy and happy, why is that not the case? If we're going to regularly set super chat goals, why are we only doing it on streams where we come on here and we are poor, pitiful me? I think in her mind, disability sells. Victimhood sells, and she has used that from the very beginning.
um, Brittany, you're so right. We compare ourselves to perfectly curated people. Everyone has their own struggles. Yeah, like Yeah. I know that, like, because also, like, cleaning in general and, like, organization has just always been a difficult thing for me, since, like, childhood. Um, I'm not going to get too into that, but, like, it's just something that I've always struggled with. And I've, like, figured out my, like, coping skills around it and making it work for me, but, neurotypical people are like, you know, non-disabled people, they just don't get it. They don't understand it, and they make fun of what they don't get. So yeah.
Okay, so right there, she is saying that, you know, non-disabled people don't understand it, neurotypical people don't understand it. So just right there, we're already claiming that we are neurodivergent and that we are disabled. Her whole talk around autism really bothers me because my child is autistic. And we have put in the work as a family to help that not be a title that he wears across his chest as a poor, pitiful me moment. And it's not used as a crutch. We have always told him that God just built him with his brain wired differently, and because of it, he sees the world in a magical manner that no one else gets to experience, really. But because of it, he brings such a blessing to the world around him because he shares that magic with us. He is 19 years old and he still approaches the world with a sense of awe and wonder, and everywhere he looks there is excitement and there is magic, and when he wants to tell you about it, it is like the excitement of a 7-year-old kid on Christmas morning, when kids really finally get to wrap their heads around, the magic of the season and what it means when we wake up Christmas morning. That's how my son moves through the world. And it's an absolute joy and a blessing to have a child like him. So it bothers me how she presents it and how she wears it as like a shield and an excuse. And then the other thing that bothers me about it more than anything, her brother Levi is actually a diagnosed autistic. I mean, for real diagnosed. And so what that tells me is that she has not only watched the struggles that he has gone through in life, but she has seen, um, how he gets treated, whether that's good or bad. But I think the biggest thing is that she has seen the special accommodations that have been made for him, and she wants that special treatment as well. And she thinks that the only way that she can get that treatment is by being disabled or by being seen as special needs. Um, and that's what I honestly think is her driving factor behind this, because she thinks it gets her a leg up in the world, and it really does bother me. We're gonna skip down here, because she's getting ready to address whether she's disabled or not for real.
It does sound really good. That chicken salad from Sam's is so yummy. It really is. Fake it till you make it, literally. So, okay. Vibe change. Wee woo wee woo. We're vibe changing. I gotta fuck. My vibes are McFucked. We gotta unfuck the vibes. I'm not on disability. No, I don't. I'm not like on like government disability. No, but
Okay, she's not on government disability, but if she was in the process of getting on disability or Social Security or anything, she would immediately say that because for her, that would be like a stepping stone. That is something to brag about. No, guys, I'm not on disability yet, but I'm getting there. My doctor's taking care of this. She hasn't made it that far, so she's not, quote unquote, nobody has told her that she is actually disabled. Um, and so this is kind of what has sparked this whole conversation. So I want to go and we're going to look at Rosie's page here. And I'm going to go to her videos and we are going to go to the oldest one. Okay, and the very first one we see on the page says kickboxing as an SSBBW fat disabled person. Like, this was her first video that really got her noticed. This is the first thing that really got her seen in the YouTube universe. And she is already claiming from the beginning that she is disabled. And so I want us to check out, this is her intro to YouTube, and there's actually an introduction on here. And so I wanted to take a peek at this, and we're going to look at the first like 5 minutes of this video and see what to say and how she originally introduced herself to YouTube.
Hi, welcome to me. I'm gonna try to introduce myself because yes, this is my first real YouTube video. If you know of my past history on the internet over the past decade, you know a lot about me as a, trauma dumper in recovery who's gonna still trauma dump sometimes. I am a 31-year-old adult in Florida. I'm an ex-Mormon. Fun fact about me. I also consider myself a queer/bi person. I go by QuirkyLoveRosie on the internet. I was Fat Rose Phoenix for a hot minute. If you saw that one article that went viral of me, I was definitely misrepresented as being more physically disabled and in need of a cane than I was.
Okay, so we're going to stop here for a second. And the article, if you want to check it out, it was the Daily Mail UK. And you can literally just Google Daily Mail UK and type in Rosie Jean or Rosie plus size, and it will bring the article up so you can look at it. But what I wanted to show you, she said that she was misrepresented as being more disabled than what she was. Well, this is the photo that she had sent in to the Daily Mail. I'm not sure how you can be misrepresented when you are when you're sending in pictures of you needing a mobility device. And in the article, she actually talks to them about her issues with mobility and how hard it is to get around. Well, here is the thing about this. This mobility device is not hers. This belongs to Rain. You can check out Rain. She has a channel here on YouTube. Rain no, it's the Planet with a Palette. And I have some issues when it comes to Rain and Rosie on top of that as well, but we will get into that in another video. But this is what she sent in, and talking about her mobility. So it's not that she was misrepresented, it's that she was misrepresenting herself. And this cane, believe it or not, started an entire firestorm for Rosie because people began calling her out on the lies. So we're going to get back over here and finish listening to what she has to say right here.
This whole journey that I'm on right now was started because I was essentially bullied into the mental hospital. I'm not getting into that, but I did seek a lot of treatment because I have PTSD, ADHD, confirmed and have had confirmed for many years. I am seeking out my autism diagnosis in November, which is in the books finally. And I did get the confirmation, my most recent clarification of diagnosis being MDD, major depressive disorder, that I probably developed at the age of 16. So, I also have a really fucked up knee and a fucked up right foot/ankle from a fractured metatarsal. That was in 2021. The knee was exacerbated by multiple things, but it started with when I was a teenager. Literally woke up with a pencil in my knee. Because don't sleep with pencils in your bed. For real. Not joking. That happened, and it's a crazy story. But anyway, and then since then, some other things happened that kind of have attributed, as well as I have a lot of genetic issues regarding my joints and stuff that will only get worse with age. And so, and as you can see, I look like this. And I am not the type of person that hates my body. I did a lot of deconstruction in my early 20s. And I spent a lot of time in, you know, fat positive spaces, body positivity spaces, which I definitely still believe and subscribe in. However, I also used to have ties in another community that I recently left, the feederism community. So on this channel, I want to talk about my life. I want to talk about the things that I'm doing, my goals, my dreams. I have been.
Okay, let's talk about the feederism community. I don't know how you guys originally stumbled upon Rosie. I stumbled upon her through her being on the We're All Insane podcast. And on there, she said that she was a self-diagnosed autistic. She had multiple disabilities. She did talk about the fact that she had to use a mobility device. She also said that she had escaped feederism, and it was this big, heroic journey. Well, this is where things get murky, and maybe one day I will release the footage that I have, if I think I can do it safely without endangering my channel. The cane that we were looking at that belongs to Rain. Rain is also a member of the feeder community, as well as Rain's best friend, Ivy. They are two of the biggest stars within that sphere. Rosie was working with them, and they called her out for lying about her need for mobility. Well, I have an Instagram live that Rosie said that if people were going to call her out, she would bring them to the court of public opinion and she would ruin their lives. She also, in that live, brags about the fact that she was making the money that she made because she launched her OF on the backs of those two women, and that she was using them to get where she wanted to be, which is a huge difference from the story that we are told. So she, comes out and says, I'm this big, strong warrior and I broke free from the community. The truth is, she was escorted out. And with that, she says the same thing. I was in fat acceptance spaces. Those two communities are very closely tied together, because a lot of the content creators for the feeder community are also fat activists and for the fat acceptance movement. And so you can't be kicked out of one without people having issues with you in another. So yet again, we have another way that she has lied to us about her story and her background. And this seems to be just a regular running theme with her.
An avid YouTube watcher since the age of 15. In the mid 2000s, I used to be a massive Shane Dawson fan. I know, gross, but I think there are a lot of us out there. And I believe that he and a few other people are great examples of how people can develop abusive parasocial dynamics with people, some of which have directly communicated with those people, and others who simply, are able to do that through their content. And I have a lot of opinions about that and stuff I'd like to make in the future. And I'm gonna now get a little bit into what this video is about, which is a bitch like me kickboxing, which, with everything I just said, I've believed myself to be a self-determined autistic since definitely 3 years ago. I think I questioned for about 2 years before then. I was really dealing with a lot of body pain and struggling to walk, So that was one of the biggest reasons I was using the cane that I wasn't aware of. As well as this knee got really re-injured roughly about 6 to 5 months ago for the first time. And I didn't do anything about it. I ignored it.
Okay, well, we heard her say yet again, I am a self-determined autistic or self-diagnosed autistic. She is still claiming that title to this day, that she is neurodivergent, specifically when it comes to autism. So I want to we're going to get over here again. And we're going to go to her videos. It's really kind of impressive when you start really digging into the content that she has left up. And it's really interesting that, well, she really can't take it down. I don't know if you guys realize how YouTube works if you're not a creator. If I make a mistake, like, okay, if you go to my first videos that I put up, my sound quality is horrible. I was trying to learn how to use this program that I am using. I was trying to figure out how to use my laptop. I had just a set of headphones with a microphone on it. The sound was horrible. The quality was horrible. I was also very nervous sharing my opinion because, you know, I have I do. I have word aphasia, and I drop words, I forget words, and sometimes because of it, I have to speak kind of in riddles, and it is embarrassing for me. And I have had people in real life out in public, if I'm speaking to a cashier or something, and they look at me like I am just a complete idiot, and I am not. And so it was very daunting to approach YouTube with that. However, my videos are still up. So if people want to go and watch those first ones and comment and tell me what a noob I am and that I need to get a different job or a different pastime, like they can do that. But they are still up because that view count counts towards the overall views for my YouTube channel. So if we look, you know, this one's a problematic video. I would take this down, the Am I Diagnosed Autistic? But it has 1.6 thousand views. If she takes that, that lowers her view count, like her watch hours and stuff on the back end of YouTube, which then kind of affects her payday in the long run. She has a whole autistic journey on here. So she leaves a lot of these up. She only really takes down the really, really, really problematic stuff. But in the process, she has left a whole lot of evidence here for us to look at. So this is the next one that I want to look at here.
But more impulsive versus hyperactive.
Okay, she was so positive that she was going to walk away with an autism diagnosis that she did a 4-part series on her channel of walking through the assessment process and preparing to finally get her autism diagnosis. And obviously, it did not quite go her way. And this is her discussing why it did not go her way.
So, I got 2 depression diagnoses. Yeah, I'm double depressed. And then, of course, the big one. Well, before I get to the big thing, she said that she's ruled out entirely bipolar and PPD. That those were misdiagnoses, that I was right about that, yada yada. I'm so mad. She told me that basically I'm too high functioning to be diagnosed as autistic. She said that I showed symptoms of autism, but based on the evaluations, it was something that she's not able to diagnose at this time. And her recommendation at the end of the report is to retest in 6 months. That's her official recommendation. So, inconclusive. Fucking sick, right?
Okay. It is not inconclusive. She said that you are too high functioning to be diagnosed as an autistic. As a parent of an autistic child, um, total to get his diagnosis, um, took 4 different 3-hour sessions with a psychometrist. And that is after we had already had multiple conversations with his pediatrician about symptoms we were seeing, the fact that he was nonverbal, his aversion to certain foods. I mean, we had to sit and we had to check all of these boxes with his pediatrician before we even got cleared to go see a psychometrist. And then there were in-depth tests done by the psychometrist before he came out and said, hey, your child has autism. He has a sensory disorder. We have ADHD on top of it. Like that, it was an entire process. So when a doctor looks at you and says, I feel that you are far too high functioning to have this diagnosis. We have done these tests, and that's the conclusion we have come to. It's not inconclusive. It's not that anybody missed the mark. It's that you just do not fit that criteria. Telling you that you can get tested again in 6 months, Rosie probably threw a fit and said, I would like a second opinion. I would like whatever. Okay, well, in 6 months, go and get tested again. Go and try again. However, this was a year ago. Let's look and see exactly what the date is. December 24th, 2023, so Christmas Eve 2023. We are in September of 2025, and we have yet to go and get testing done again. She claims it's because that she is so far beyond what the medical community can understand that they just can't diagnose her. They just don't get it right. No, she doesn't want to go and get the testing done again because then they would tell her, you are not autistic. This is not what you have. And that takes away part of that shield. It takes away part of the wall that she has built around herself, and she cannot handle that because she wants the ass pats, she wants to be treated special, and she wants, everybody to see her as this giant warrior that's fighting all of these horrible diagnoses and still taking on the world. I don't think she realizes that you can be that without having any health conditions, any mental health issues, any, you know, without an autistic diagnosis. Like you can still be seen that. It's about how you move through the world and how you carry yourself. Um, but I honestly think she believes that if she is seen as disabled, she will get ass pats for just existing in general. I think the other thing that I wanted to look at, um, Rosie in the very beginning came on here, and this doesn't have anything to do with the disability aspect. I think this is just showing that Rosie has never been honest with her community. So we're going to go back to all of her live stream posts, and I want to go to the oldest one that she has. And this one was streamed 2 years ago, and it is her post premiere live. So she had premiered a video, and she was on her live, went on her live stream. So this is kind of her introduction to Girl World. And I would really like to take a look at how she's presenting herself and what she says about her content, and then compare it to the Rosie that we get today. Now, one of the big issues that I always have is she is in vertical mode. That puts us into a different algorithm. Different people have access to it. Rosie also, again, is all chest right in the camera. She could have changed her shirt. She could have chosen to sit in a different position, and she didn't. This is what is here. For somebody who claims, and this is before she had closed her OF account, actually. Um, for somebody who comes from that side of the internet, she knows what she is doing when she presents herself this way. But I really want to pay attention to what she has to say about herself and her content when it comes to what her channel will be.
Freaked the hell out. But I look crazy. Hi, sorry. I was in the chat and people were like, you should do an after party. And I was like, sure. My eyes been watering for hours. It's been really annoying. I forgot to tweet about this though. So let me tweet about this real fast. I should probably get the link. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for people to come in. I didn't think to announce this first. That's my fault. I'm a professional, y'all. But yeah, I just did the premiere. I wanted to see what's going on. Let's see. Let's do live chat. Let's see if it like works. I don't even know. Let's see here. I look crazy in the thumbnail. Yikes. I'm still learning like the technical sides of going live and stuff, especially on YouTube. I only have like my computer, my iPad and my phone. And I look wild right now. I should have really taken a moment to...
Okay, you look wild right now, and the angle is just a bit inappropriate. Because honestly, guys, like, no shade or anything. Well, maybe just a little. If you moved her head up just a little bit and cropped it out, it looks like there is just butt cheeks. Like, that's all that is. It doesn't even really resemble just regular cleavage anymore. It just looks like a butt.
What am I doing? Okay, here we go. I should have prepped better for this. Oh well. Let me tweet it out real quick. If people are chatting, it's not showing up. They might not be yet, but that's fine. Where are you? There we are. Maybe later. Paste. But yeah, I want to do like a more formal live or hi. Okay, here. There's some more chats coming up now. Hi, everybody. So, Sandra, the reason why my live wasn't kept up last time is YouTube glitched. I tried scheduling a live. I went live on my phone. It freaked out. I moved over to my iPad. I was live for 2.5 hours. And then it just got stuck in waiting for like almost an entire day. And that's the only... I'm actually really upset I had to remove the live because it would not upload. I don't know if I was live for too long or like what the problem was. I'm really upset about it. So if this will upload, I normally keep a lot of lives that I do on Instagram. Not all of them, because some of them are not worth keeping. But
Like the one where you were talking crap about Rain and Ivy? And about what really happened while you left the community, and how you absolutely killed it in your starring role of the Matilda remake. I think that one would have been worth keeping. I mean, I thought that Instagram live was epic. However, it does not match with what you are getting ready to try and sell me here.
because I'm just, being boring, frankly. Let's see. Oh, Twitter's being so nice to me. I was not expecting Gorworld to be nice to me. I'm gonna be real with you guys. For years, I was terrified to utter the words.
Okay, how ironic is it that this very first live stream that we're looking at, she's like, Twitter is so nice to me. I love Twitter so much. And Twitter is what triggered her. Well, X now is what triggered her in the very first live stream that we peeked at today. Because Girl World, it was just always so nice to her.
Just to say them. And then I did a couple months ago for the first time. And it was when I was kind of going through some stuff. Let's see. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah. I wish I could have kept the live up. Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked the premiere. Hi, thank you for being a new sub. Yeah, anytime I can keep a live up, I will, unless like I have like a legitimate reason, like I fucked up and said something I shouldn't have, or anything like that, like in terms of privacy or whatever. But I said I'm really upset that live isn't up. Was first of all, one of the reasons I was doing it was to kind of boost my watch time. I'm getting there. I'm well over 1,000 hours now. But I'm getting there. And by the way, this eye's been acting goofy, and so it's just been like irritated and watery today. It's super annoying. So that's why my eyes look weird. But yeah, I said what I said and I meant what I said. Yeah, by the way, Raleigh, are you aware of anyone kicking my friend Christiana out of the live? Because I must have missed whatever she said, because she's like literally one of my closest friends. And someone said that she got booted. So do you or any of the other mods know about that? And also, is there a way I can view mod activity? Maybe coordinate to from the pool. I didn't get in the pool today. Actually, what ended up happening is I had this like, I forget the technical term for it, but I had this like really tiny white eyelid pimple. I found out about it online, and I had it for a while and it was fine. And then either it got irritated, or it got irritated because I'm a dumbass and I was picking at it. And so it got like inflamed, and then I had to actually pop it. And I thought it was completely went away, but now I kind of feel it again, so I'm like not happy. Did Chantel make a post about me? Is that a thing that happened? Can someone tweet it at me? I refuse to go to her YouTube channel. Did she already talk about me?
Okay, so we've already had her mention Girl World once. She claims she does not want to be in Girl World at all. But this is our first live stream that we have that's left up here. Apparently, she did a live stream before this. But we are talking about Girl World. And we are also, talking about Foodie. She was very loud about her feelings on Foodie when she first got here. She has since deleted all of those streams. You can find repost of them, but they have a lot of commentary over them, so sadly I cannot use them. But she's definitely about to set herself apart for us.
Because that's impressive. Truly, that wasn't my point. My point is she is actively hurting people, and not just me. I've seen the comments in people's live reaction chats and stuff. Her content is actively harming people with these disorders. And she may very well actually fit the criteria and just not be diagnosed and have BED. And you know what? Fine. I'm not going to sit here and police people's fucking diagnoses. But to sit here and act the way you're acting, like you have any kind of authority when you're not receiving professional care, nor have you ever. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Which is why I said what I said.
Okay, so she's talking about how Foodie's content is triggering for certain people, and that it is inappropriate content for YouTube. Because that was Rosie's stance at the time. People shouldn't be doing mukbangs. People should not be eating often online unless it is a cooking channel. And that was her issue and her stance. And she thought that everybody needed to do that because it was triggering to her and triggering to other people. Now, when people, if you go into Rosie's chat and you say, hey, it's really triggering for me to watch you eat like this and to eat this amount, she tells you that your triggers are your own issue. You need to get over it. And then you are very quickly escorted out by her or one of her mods. Um, so, what she is presenting to us from the beginning is clearly not the case anymore.
Okay, wait, did she name me? Because if that's the case, I'll at least look at it, I guess. Because if she already mentioned me, that means I'm about to be all over reaction channels, which might be a good or a bad thing. And honestly, she already popped off. Damn, she must really be not spending time with her husband.
Okay, so we're already excited about reaction channels possibly covering us. And this is one of the reasons why I say, as much as Quirky throws a fit and says, I don't want to be in girl world, I don't want reaction channels, I don't want anybody discussing me, I just want to sit over in my corner in the kitchen chair and vibe. That is not the case. Her goal has always been to get to be YouTube famous. I don't know if you guys have ever seen her Biggest Loser audition. One of the things that she talked about, and the only passion that she said that she had, was to eventually one day make YouTube videos, build herself a YouTube community, and make that her sole career. And that was before she ever posted any content. Um, I think when she was escorted out of the feeder community, her next stop was to do her PR campaign, first of all, to kind of try to rebuild her reputation because she was worried about what other people would say. And she drug all of their names through the mud. Um, Most of those women, when it came to that situation, were fairly stand up people and said it's childish. We will not drag her name through the mud. We're not going to talk about anything beyond just the mobility lies. And because they chose to handle the situation in a respectful manner, and Rosie did her PR campaign, it really painted Rosie in a different light than what the truth was. And she was, seen as somebody who was going to do things different and move differently. However, I think she had been watching Girl World for a while. She could no longer make money on the sites that she had previously been on. And I think she thought that Girl World was going to be her ticket to fame and riches. And it's taken her longer to get there than she thought it would, I think.
Shouldn't have said that. Oh, shit. Okay, fine, guys. I will live react to the fucking post. You win. Fine. I'm getting a lot of love on Twitter. She's not even on Twitter. I said what I said and I meant what I said. She directly triggered me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she directly triggered me. I spent the night fighting a binge because of her content. She can sit on that.
Okay, and what do you think that your current day content does for other people that are in the same position? I mean, that's like, I'm not trying to be snarky, I'm not trying to be sassy. I am legitimately asking a question. I do not understand how you can stand in such a place acting as though you have the moral high ground and this is something that you cannot and will not bend on. And 2 years later, you're Foodie Junior. Like, I really would like to know what the process was for you to bend and twist the moral code that you had originally.
I don't want to even type her name. Fine. I'll win. Ugh.
I hate the stupid little smirk because she thinks that, she brings it up, she hints at it, and she's like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. She wants to. She just doesn't want it to be her idea to. And so once people buy into the manipulation and they're like, do it, Rosie, do it for us. And she's like, fine, I guess so. And then you get the stupid little smirk because she thinks she's winning. Like, she has won the internet, she has manipulated her chat. I, the smirk annoys me.
It's just a bunch of reaction channels. Oh, there's her channel. Ew, no, ew, gross, no. Okay. Alright, community tab. I never said intuitive eating is a joke. Did she delete it? I don't see what y'all guys are talking about. Okay, I was like, she's not reacting to me then. Y'all are lying to me in the comments. Why'd you make me look up her channel? God damn it. How do I delete that from my search history? You. Okay. No, she does disgust me. Like, it's her behavior. That's the bottom line. Documented animal abuser. Like, period. Yeah, she's not talking about me. She's probably not. I don't think she's addressed me already. I'm not relevant enough for her to do that. Like, if she finds out about this, like, post, sure, she might, but... Thank you. So it's the bottom line, is she's hurting people. Yeah. Well, thank you, Clever. I'm glad you think I'm relevant to you guys. I knew you back in the day, Rosie. I'm so incredibly proud of you. Thank you. No more Nashies. Which back in the day? I've had a few phases on the internet. Where do you know?
She has had a few faces on the internet because she will insert herself into a certain corner of the internet. And when she finally shows herself for what she is, and people then either escort her out or start treating her as she considers poorly based on her behavior, she then completely will delete everything, rebrand, and come back. Like, that is what she does. That is why there is so many gaps in the content that is left up on YouTube right now. It is part of why her YouTube account was created so long ago, and we don't have content beyond 2 years ago. It is also why, if you go over to her Instagram, we know that she's very active over there, has been for a very long time, but there are huge chunks missing, because that's when she was deciding to rebrand because she had been removed from a particular community.
Me from, because it's I mean, it's time for me to move out.
She said that 2 years ago, and we are still there and not paying the bills. Levi is.
Initially, I thought I had a deadline, but now it's more flexible, so I'm not too concerned about it. You know, Mayor, I've heard people talk about that, and at the end of the day, I'm aware of what this community is. As I've mentioned in the past, I lurked in Girl World for over 2 years now. I'm aware that at the flip of a hat, people could turn on me. I know. But I also know who I am as a person, and I know I'm not bullshitting people. I know I'm not putting on a front. I know I'm being authentically myself, and I know I'm not a liar.
Okay, so we're authentically ourselves. We know what Girl World is, and I am not a liar. However, if you were authentically yourself, your content would have stayed consistent. We wouldn't have gone from talking crap about Foodie to doing exactly what Foodie does. You also, at this time when this was done, you had a ton of reaction channels that actually really liked you, and they were covering you positively. I know when I first saw Rosie, I was like, oh my gosh, she's a breath of fresh air. She's different from the other girls. She's going to do it different. She's going to show the other girls how it's done. Like, this is going to be our success story of Gore World. This is our golden child of Gore World. Like, she's the one that's going to do it right, and everybody's going to react to her, and it's going to be us sitting at home cheering for her. It's not always going to be drama and negativity. And she proved us wrong, because yet again, she was lying. Like, authentically herself is her realizing that food sells. Eating is what sells for her. That's what makes her money. And this was a front, because she thought that she was going to kick in the door of Gore World, and she was going to be seen as this sweet, innocent person who had had a horrible life, and she was overcoming all of these obstacles, and we would cheer her on. And it didn't happen fast enough for her. She wasn't making the money she wanted. And so what did she do? She leaned in harder to what Girl World is. And the longer she's here, the more I think we're seeing, everybody says she's becoming more like Amber. She's becoming more like Foodie. I think this has been her the entire time. I think the Rosie we are getting today is closer and closer and closer to who she truly is and who she has been hiding this entire time.
So, you know, if that happens, it happens. I'm just here for the fun. And I'm here to be honest. And I can't really exist on YouTube without addressing Girl World. Look at me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you think I'm young? Oh my god, thank you. I'm 31. I'm 31. I always say it's the collagen. The fat fills in the wrinkles, you know? Appreciate it. I'm gonna check Twitter again. Yeah, my Twitter's been blowing up. So, Perfectly Imperfect, I think I saw them in the chat. They were the first person to, like, tweet about me. I had, like, 10 followers. Like, I was not, like, my Twitter was dead, and I don't quite understand Twitter, to be quite honest with y'all. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, hey, Perfectly Imperfect. There you are. Oh, my God, Megan. Oh, I love Megan so much. God bless her. What a beautiful human. Ugh. Okay, cool. I might even recognize your username if you told me. You don't have to tell me here, but...
Okay, so she's already shouting out reaction channels. Perfectly Imperfect is the first one. They are still around till today. Do pretty great content. And she's just going to continue shouting them out, because at this point, she had all the reactors in her pocket. Everybody thought she was great.
I'm assuming that's from Instagram then. Yeah, thank you, Just Brazen. Yeah, Skinny Queen Reacts has been awesome. Shout out to Baby Cute Chicken for being the first person to start covering me before my YouTube channel even was a thing. So, thank you, Shannon. Like, dude, Alex's Shook tweeted about my premiere. I think that was a big reason for a boost in numbers too. Which makes me curious, like, is he gonna cover that video? Because and I actually tweeted this at him today, because I take issue with his stance on, like, when he was talking about the, what do you call it, the, like, person of size policy. Like, I've seen a lot of his recaps. Like, when I mentioned the recaps in the video, I was talking about Alex's Shook. That's, like, the main source that I use to keep...
So she doesn't watch reaction channels, but she has been watching reaction channels long before she ever showed up on anybody's radar, or before she was even producing Girl World content.
Briefed on, like, the just the kind of the headlines of Foodie, because I don't like to see her face and her voice, or hear her voice. I didn't even know about the low BMI thing until I was in Skinny's Reacts streams, which I joined because she had reacted to me, and I wanted to, like, get a feel for her content outside of me. And that's how I ended up getting triggered, because I didn't even realize like how serious that content would impact me. You know what I'm saying? Okay, please feel free to snip anything. You guys are welcome. I'm never going to copyright strike unless it's like direct rips. Like, real talk though, whenever barbecue chicken like fully reacted for the first time, she just edited down my video, and I was like, this isn't even transformative, because it wasn't. And I said that on my story, but when we DM'd, like, she fully acknowledged that, and she's like, honestly, it's just because I don't know you that well yet. But that action is what led me to being reacted to by Skinny, which or no, maybe, I'm sorry, I think it was No Madness first, then Skinny. Then it's, just kind of trickled down, and now all these other reactors are finding out I exist. And like, I've been watching reaction and commentary content for years. Years. By the way, I already have a full vlog ready to go.
Okay, so we officially have one of our gorls stating clearly that reaction channels are good for them. She had no presence. She did not exist. People did not care. One reaction channel covered her. And suddenly everybody else is digging into it and paying attention and covering her. How do you think she got to where she is? One of our girls is officially admitting that reaction channels and the channels that we react to, it is a symbiotic cycle. We have to have each other. Without her content, I am not here. However, without people like me, I'm not saying me because I don't have a huge audience, but people like Alexis Shook, Oh Lordy, it's Jordy, Karina, Snowflake. Like, you look at those kinds of people who have giant platforms, they make one comment about her and suddenly everybody's like, who's Rosie? And we go and they go and look, and then they subscribe because they want to see what's going to happen. She is the first one to admit it. Would she admit it now? No, she hates reaction channels now. I do love that she says that she will never strike a channel if it is transformative, if it actually meets fair use rules. Well, there that is. It's there. However, she was awfully excited the other day when that channel got taken down. I mean, she was absolutely giddy. Like, we accidentally uncovered another lie that I forgot was even in this one. I was hoping we would just get to the point where she was talking about the fact that she doesn't have to do mukbangs to make money.
Oh, and I postponed it to edit and upload.
Guys, Rosie is a gift that keeps on giving. Like, I just can't get enough.
This video, and I'm almost done with my cooking video, because I will be talking about food. I will have food in my vlogs. I will be doing that, but you're not gonna catch me making fucking mukbangs. It's not gonna happen for multiple reasons. Frankly, it's tied to trauma I have, as well as my past online, and just, I can make better content than mukbangs. And that's actually not a diss, it's just true. So I'm not like worried about that, but like, I want to do, I'm like in the middle of making, I made a bunch of like silent quiet footage, and I'm going to voice over it.
Okay, so we can do better content than mukbangs. We're going to have food, but it's going to be in a healthy, thoughtful way. So let me see if I can find it. I did not have, but that thought, it makes me want to show difference since we're kind of digging, since we're digging in here on her lies, and I have you guys as a captive audience. I think it's this one. I want you to look at the difference here and how she,
So it ain't pretty.
I want you guys to look at the difference about how she talks about the food, but also how she eats it. Because I think that is a very, I think there is a huge difference between what we are seeing nowadays and what we started off with and what she promised us. I mean, it was shocking to me, the difference.
but I really like that I found another way to eat sweet potatoes that I think I liked even more than the sweet version. That seasoning is so good on sweet potatoes. So let's start with this. Okay. Okay. So I microwaved it. So that's why the texture is the way that it is. Not bad though. Not at all. It's actually got a nice like
Guys, it is a completely different person. Because if we go back, I promise this is the last jump and then I will leave you guys alone. I hate that she doesn't actually take the time to make thumbnails. And in the process, it makes it insanely hard for anybody to come back and eat, whether you're reacting or not. It makes it very hard for people to come back and be like, hey, there was a certain thing that I wanted to see. And or there was a certain live stream that I remembered and she was wearing a purple shirt or she was, doing whatever. It makes it very hard even for just her followers. So if I can get this to load, I'm gonna pause this for a second and see. Okay, yeah, here we go. We're gonna look at the difference between the Rosie we just saw eating, who doesn't have to do mukbangs to create content because she's better than that, and the Rosie we get today. This was a month ago, so this is our modern day gorl.
Yum. I don't care. I just don't want her to go IRL with me. Just don't go IRL. Don't go digging and shit. Just do your reactions to my content. Make fun of me if you must. Or just like leave me alone.
It is night and day. And guys, I don't know what is happening. Rosie just keeps giving me all the good stuff today. She just said, I don't care. React to me, make fun of me, but don't dig in my past. When she was talking about that video, the channel that was removed that I had gotten some of my content from that I was going to use, her biggest complaint was that they had dug into her past. She works very hard to compartmentalize how we see her, because if we get into her past or we expand out into anybody who used to know her, she becomes even more problematic. And we realize that the Rosie that is presented to us is nothing but lies. And I hope by this point I have proven that. Here, we're just gonna mute her so we can continue having the screen moving while I'm running my mouth. I hope at this point that I have shown just how often she lies, and some of it I feel they're very egregious lies because what she's lying about. And maybe that's just me being overly sensitive because one of the things that she lies about the most is something that I have watched my child struggle with his entire life. And I am definitely not a fan of that aspect of it. Yeah, but this is a completely different Rosie, if you ask me. So that's, I think, all we're going to cover today. I have held you captive for an hour at this point. Thanks for hanging out with me. Tell me what you guys thought about this. Do you agree that she has been lying since the second she got on YouTube? Let me know if you guys would be interested in us doing some more really deep dives into who Rosie is and what her background is. And I think when there's quiet moments, we might go through and just start reacting to some of her old vlogs, some of her old live streams. I know I want to cover the live stream where she abandoned her coworker on the side of the highway. I've only seen snippets of it. I've never actually watched the whole thing, so that may be something we get to in the coming weeks. But again, thanks for hanging out with me and letting me ramble on about my Rosie conspiracy theory. Um, and I will remind you guys that I need you to be good and behave yourselves. However, if you can't, at least do it right and make me proud, and then post it online so we can talk about it later. Bye, guys.